ASL and certification from NISM. There is no way guarantee performance. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Okay, so let's begin with today's session. It's a great day to meet today. No two ways about that. So Nifty hit all-time high, after going through some patch of consolidation. We started that pullback to consolidation at the start of the September. So I think within 6 to 7 sessions, we are back at a fresh all-time high. This time we didn't even tested the 50 DMA. The market reversed from the 21 DMA itself. And we have been constantly, in all our pre-bells, webinars, articles, seminar, talking about these two levels, the 21 and 50. These are the most. So I'm not telling that we told that it will rebound from 21, but yes, we are always like had a bit confidence that 21 and 50. These both levels are very crucial for Nifty, and that's what been held over here. So 21 पे support लेके today the volume was very good, and I think the way the buying came after the 2 p.m. like in just 1 hour there was a huge buying in Nifty that we saw today. Right. So distribution day count, which indicates the broader weakness in the market, is at low. Just two, only two distribution days are there. Okay, and so that's not something to worry about. And if you look at the overall scenario, the macro scenario is well comfortable in India. जैसे जिस तरह से economic growth हो रहा है, GDP growth is expanding. Even the top institutes in the world have raised their GDP guidance for expectations for India. And see, broadly, if you see, this is a liquidity-driven rally, and we all know that that's not something very new to tell you. FII का आउटफ्लो है, ठीक है, ग्लोबल मार्केट थोड़े चॉपी है, वॉलेटाइल है, बट जिस तरह से पिछले 1-2 साल में DIIs का इनफ्लो आया है, एवरी मंथ नाउ द SIP इनफ्लो इन इक्विटी 22,000 23,000 करोड़ तक पहुंच गया है. सो जो ब्रॉडली एक रिटेल पार्टिसिपेशन है वो काफी बढ़ गया है. यू जस्ट लुक एट द बजाज फिनेंस, sorry, Bajaj Housing IPO. My colleague Rajshekhar has prepared a video on it, and that will be out soon. I think maybe by the time we complete this webinar, that video will be out. That it's a huge subscription. What are the positives and the risk associated with the Bajaj Housing, and what you should do about it? But around 3.5 lakh crore just to get 6,500, 7,000 crore. So that's very huge amount of money that the Indian people are ready to give into the equity market, to the new upcoming IPOs. So the oversubscriptions is too much. And see, it's a liquidity driven rally. So in India, it's quite good condition. Economy, देखो, results भी देखो. I think earnings season was good this time. Most of the sectors reported decent numbers. They were broadly in line with estimates. Somewhere missed, somewhere hit, but एवरेज देखो ना तो इतना कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Now, what's the next trigger? The next trigger will be the September 18th. ठीक है, September 18th को US Fed के आउटकम है. So there are expectations of rate cut. ये होनी है. जिस तरह से कल के डेटा आया था इन्फ्लेशन का यूएस का इन लाइन विथ एस्टिमेट्स ब्रॉडली, ठीक है, उसके पहले के जो डेटाज आए, जॉब डेटाज आए. सो देर आर टू थिंग्स. ऐसा भी सिचुएशन नहीं है कि 50 बिप्स का रेट कट डायरेक्टली मिल जाए, ठीक है, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि ना भी हो रेट कट. सो द एक्सपेक्टेशंस आर समवेयर अराउंड 25 बिप्स एज ऑफ नाउ, बट लेट्स सी हाउ it goes and what the Fed thinks about it. Not only this रेट कट, ओके, 50 बिप्स या 35 बिप्स या जो भी हो, मतलब ये रेट कट इज जस्ट द वन थिंग, बट देयर गाइडेंस, देयर कमेंट्री ऑन द फर्दर रेट कट, व्हाट दे एक्सपेक्ट इन 2024 or in the first half of the 2025, that will be important. And once the rate cut cycle starts, that is always a little positive for the emerging economies like India. क्योंकि रेट कट से होता क्या है, यूएस में जो सेफ पैसा बनना है वो कम हो जाता है, ठीक है. तो अभी रिस्क लेना है तो इंडिया के बाजार में ले सकते हो भाई. ठीक है, जो इमर्जिंग है, जो ग्रोइंग है, वहां पे रिस्क लो, ज्यादा पैसे बनेंगे आपके। सो ये एक लॉजिक पूरा आ जाता है मार्केट में। सो ओवरऑल जो फॉरेन से लिक्विडिटी सक हुई है, एफआईआई का जो पिछले 1-2 साल से कंटिन्यूस सेलिंग आया है, ब्रॉडली ब्रॉडर टर्म्स में देखे तो वहां पे थोड़ा एक इम्प्रूवमेंट हो सकता है। सो वेन एवर देर विल बी अ डिप, okay, I'm not talking dip means 200 500 points. There can be some 4-5% correction due to any reason somewhere or the other in the year or whenever it may be. Then there is always a chance that FI might jump in and buy few things, because they are already underowned since last 2 years. They have missed this Indian rally, but they have made money. They have made money in the US and the other markets. Okay, and the US rates were high, so obviously the money were parked over there. बट जैसे जैसे वहां पे रेट कट शुरू होगा, यहाँ पे थोड़ा एफआई वाला फ्लो भी हमको देखने को मिल सकता है। वन अनदर रिस्क इन द मार्केट, नॉट आई एम टॉकिंग इंडियन स्पेसिफिक बट ग्लोबली, येन कैरी ट्रेड का अभी भी एक हैंगओवर है, क्योंकि जापान के गवर्नर ने बोला है कि देर आर स्टिल अ चांस ऑफ रेट हाइक्स। सो जापान में अगर वो लोग रेट बढ़ाते हैं तो ये येन कैरी ट्रेड वाला एपिसोड फिर से एक बार हो सकता है, बट इंडिया माइट हैव अ मिनिमम इम्पैक्ट। एंड आई थिंक द विलन ऑलरेडी now that what can hurt the market. So there are chances that trader might already price in few things over the time. So there might not be a knee-jerk reaction. The third thing, the China and German and Chinese economy थोड़ा slow down पे है. Okay, so all the exports over there और import export वहाँ से जो भी है वहाँ पे एक थोड़ा impact आएगा, and that will also impact the overall global growth, because these are some of the major economies, especially the China and Germany as well. So for Nifty, now again today's low becomes very important, because आज एक follow through वाला action था, additional follow through वाला, तो आज का जो low है 24,960, that becomes very crucial to hold for next few sessions or from now on. The other level to watch out will be 24,950, will be similar, आज भी 21 DMA के around ही low बना था। So the most important level now becomes the 21 DMA। रोज ये ट्रैक करना चाहिए कि कहाँ है 21 डीएमए और कितना दूर है। एंड इफ दैट गोज डाउन, द नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ सपोर्ट विल बी द 50 डीएमए विच इज अराउंड 24,700। On the higher side, we already closed at a fresh high, so there is no major resistance over here there on the higher side. So the rally might continue for the week or the month of September. We don't always follow that sell in September wala thing. So ideally, the September is generally a choppy month or a negative month for most of the global market and even India as well. But those are just historical calculations, but you never know what happens. Okay, let's take few sectors and then we will open it for your questions. So yeah, banking stocks did really well today. It finally reclaimed its 50 DMA. Sorry. So there was a lot of struggle over here to move above the 50 DML level, but I think today Bank Nifty did that. So today's candle on sectorial front is not available. So please don't consider the last one as today's candle, क्योंकि ये शाम को generally update होता है ये वाले chart में. So we have closed above the 50 DMA, which is really positive. So now let's see if we can, again move higher tomorrow in the Bank Nifty, then it has a lot of scope to move higher. अभी Bank Nifty देखो तो 53,300 का ऑल टाइम हाई था, और अभी का अगर हम लेवल देखें तो इवन फ्रॉम ऑल टाइम हाई देर इज अ गुड 3-4% स्पेस। सो अगर बैंक निफ्टी लीड करता है देन इट हैज वन ऑफ द टॉप वेटेज इन द मार्केट and can always help the market to move higher. Look at the auto. So today the auto index was up more than 2%. This also reclaimed its 50 DMA convincingly. So ये पॉजिटिव चीज है। देखो आज क्या हुआ, तुम्हारा बैंक 50 DMA रिक्लेम कर दिया, ऑटो भी रिक्लेम कर दिया, ठीक है। एक चॉपी मूवमेंट था, साइडवे मूवमेंट था, वहां से अभी ऊपर जाने लगा है ऑटो इंडेक्स भी। इफ यू लुक एट निफ्टी एफएमसीजी यहाँ पे भी 1% से ज्यादा का आज हमको गेन देखने को मिला, एंड दिस इज ट्रेडिंग एट अ फ्रेश ऑल टाइम हाई. सो two index major ones have reclaimed the moving averages, and FMCG continues to be at new high. Now, if you look at metals, so metals were the top gainers, almost 3% gain. So this is, I think, just below 50 DMA closing हुआ होगा. तो यहाँ पे अभी देखना होगा for tomorrow's session, Monday session, the focus should be on the metal index. So if we see that there is a rebound in metal index, ये भी 50 DMA के ऊपर जाता है, then that is positive for it. बट ओवरऑल जैसे हम देख रहे हैं कि जो इंडस्ट्रीज वाले जो कंट्रीज है जिसका मेटल यूज ज्यादा है, चाइना, जर्मनी, वहां पे एक लिटिल स्लो डाउन वाला सिचुएशन है. तो देर आर चांसेस के मेटल में इतना ज्यादा मोमेंटम हमको देखने को ना मिले. बट ओवरऑल इफ यू सी द डोमेस्टिक डिमांड ऑफ स्टील इज वेरी गुड. ओके, स्टील के प्राइसेस में भी कोई इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अदर फेरस नॉन फेरस मेटल्स में भी अभी प्राइसिंग थोड़ा होल्ड कर रहा है, और जैसे ही यूएस में रेट कट होगा, ठीक है, डॉलर इंडेक्स में चेंज होगा, तो मेटल ब्रॉडली ग्लोबल मार्केट में होल्ड करेगा मेटल का प्राइसेस, ऐसा नहीं है. बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट नाउ बिकम्स टेक्निकल टू ट्रैक. यू नीड टू ट्रैक द टेक्निकल्स. The other is Nifty IT, major index in Nifty. Here also a good momentum over here. So after some choppy days, it looks like the IT index is also moving higher again. So today's candle is not here, but IT was up more than 1.5% with the leading stocks making the way higher. So sector wise देखो, no broader market wise देखो, even अगर हम मिड कैप देखते हैं, ठीक है, तो मिड कैप ने आज न्यू ऑल टाइम हाई बनाया. देखो मिड कैप इंडेक्स 50 डीएमए को एक बार टच किया था मंडे को, यही मंडे को. वहां पे सपोर्ट लिया, 21 ब्रीच किया, बट 50 पे सपोर्ट लिया, एंड देन यू कैन सी अगेन दैट हैज मूव टू अ फ्रेश ऑल टाइम हाई. आज उसने ऑलमोस्ट 60,000 के बहुत करीब आ गया था ये इंडेक्स. ओके, सो that's how overall strength is taken up. नाउ व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज जस्ट फॉलो द टेक्निकल्स, क्योंकि ऐसे मार्केट सिनेरियो में आप कोई फंडामेंटल या छोटे मोटे फॉर्मूलाज फंडामेंटल से काम नहीं चलेगा. इसमें ब्रॉडर लेवल पे आपको टेक्निकल समझना पड़ेगा. 21 डीएमए, 50 डीएमए ऑन इंडेक्स लेवल, एंड सिमिलर थिंग्स ऑन द स्टॉक लेवल एज वेल. जो भी स्टॉक आपके पोर्टफोलियो में है उसमें वो देखो. ये था एग्जिस्टिंग पोजीशन के बाद. अभी न्यू पोजीशन, जो भी स्टॉक एक बेस कंप्लीट करके ब्रेकआउट दे रहे हैं, द सेक्टर स्ट्रांग है, वहां पे अपना पैसा पार्क करो, तो वहां पे प्रोबेबिलिटी हायर है ज्यादा पैसा बनने की. So that was from my side. Now we can start with your queries. So in the group, we have my colleague Vakar as well as Rajshekar. We three will try to answer as many questions as possible. And please do not keep repeating your question in the chat box. As it is a live session, it becomes difficult to scroll and reply. But we will try to answer as many questions as possible. Okay, can we open the chat box? Looks like it's locked. Mhm. Oh, yes.
Thanks, Vishit. Rajshekar here. I'll start with the queries now. We can start with the PGEL and we can continue after. PG Electroplast has been one of the very big winners. You can see here the stock formed a cup with handle base formation and it broke out from there and it has been a one-way journey for it since the breakout, and it rallied more than 170% in 79 trading sessions, which is a very huge movement. And apart from that, if you look at the ratings stand out for the company. They are almost at highest level. EPS is at the highest, 99. Price strength is 96. Buyer demand is highest. So everything about the company is looking good. The chart and the ratings, most of the ratings and chart price volume action is also looking very good. There is still strength remaining in the company. There is no major signs of weakness happening, even though the volumes have slightly dropped to average volumes, but there are no major sessions where the stock fell on higher volumes. So we can continue to hold it. I think that is a question here. And if you are looking for an exit point, I think 21 DMA has acted as a very good support level, green line. So that can be kept as a stop loss, and you can continue to hold it. And if you want to be slightly on the safer side, you can book partial profits, and when it reached exponential moving average, such as 10 or 12 exponential moving average, and you can continue to hold until 21 DMA is not reached. Fresh entry is not advised at this moment because it is very much extended from the moving averages. Let's wait for the stock to form a base pattern from here to take a call. Next is IDFC. This is, I think, inverse of what is happened in the PG Electroplast. I think the stock is moving sideways and with negative bias. You can see it has not done much in the recent current 1 year. It has not done much. It moved sideways and breached its key moving averages as well. Currently, it is trading below 250 DMS, and it is very difficult for the stock to reclaim 200 DMA recently. So it can be called as a laggard in the current market, where the market is continuously making new all-time highs. Today also we have seen Rushida has already talked about Nifty and broader market indices. You can see how those indices are trading at all-time highs, but this stock has been laggard. And according to O'Neill's methodology, we do not invest in the laggards. We stay invested with the leaders. The character can be seen in the ratings as well. You can see EPS has been very poor at 9. The last 4 quarters, the earnings have been not very bad, you can say, because the growth rates have been the negative. So declining sales and declining profits is not a good sign of a company uh, which will do good in the market. So those signs are not seen in this company currently. If you look at the numbers, price trend has been deteriorated to 12 because of the stock's underperformance. Buyer demand is also saying that there is lots of distribution which happened in the stock. So uh, there are ample of stocks available in the market which are doing good in the market. So stay invested with those companies rather than looking out for these laggards and burning out your capital. Next is C.E.S.C. C.E.S.C has done very good after a breakout from stage 2B consolidation. You can see the details here. A breakout has been very exceptional on the day of breakout. You can see the look at the volumes, almost record volumes on that particular day. This is what we look for a breakout session. On that front, it is definitely ticking the box. And overall base pattern has also been very ideal, and that is reflected in the stock's price volume action as well. Currently, it is extended 24%, or I can say advanced 24% from the breakout. In between, there have been a few occasions where it raised towards this 21 DMA, but that level has been a very good support. 50 DMA has also been tested once, but that has been reclaimed within a short period. So, not a major sign of cautiousness. You can continue to hold it until the 21 DMA is breached, and deflation is not advised in this stock as well because there is no proper base formation at this moment. It is extended more than 20%. So Ideally, we call 20 to 25% as a area to book out partial profits. So we are not advising to enter at this moment.
Thanks, Raj. Vakaria, I'll take some queries from you. Yeah. Can you give me Kaynes then NTPC? Yes. So currently the stock is forming an ascending base, a very strong base as one can see. It's more of like a base on base pattern, where three cups get formed one above the other. The last quarter result was also very good. Overall ratings are so good, no need to be discussed on that. Fund holding for the stock is increasing. There is a good prior uptrend as well. Recently, again, after the decline, now when the stock is started to move up, it is today's action is very, very good. Stock has moved up around 10% on very, very high volumes, which is a very good sign. During the ascending base itself, if you see, there is hardly any sign of distribution. Whenever the stock was falling, the stock was falling on very low volumes. Volumes had actually dried up. And whenever the stock started to move up, you can see big blue bars. I mean, ideal base formation. And if from here, if you see the pivot is at 5380 levels, around 200 points from here. And going forward, if a blue dot gets formed at the breakout, nothing like it then. So definitely a good stock to keep in your watch list. Currently, the stock is below the ideal buy zone, so no fresh entry is um, uh, can be suggested. But definitely a very good stock fundamentally, as well as technical strength is also there at this moment. And so definitely can keep in your watch list. Someone who's already holding the stock from a prior breakout can definitely hold, because earlier, whenever the stock breached its 21 DMA, it never breached on higher volumes, always found support near the 50 DMA. Today, it reclaimed the 21 DMA on above average volumes, which is a very, very good sign. So currently, if someone is holding, can continue to hold the stock. The next be NTPC. NTPC, then Zentech. So again, a stock which is forming a base, but a very late stage base, Dushit is pointing out is a stage 4 base, higher chances of failure. And even if you see, the RS for the strength has deteriorated a lot, because mostly looking like the stock has run out of uh, its steam at this moment. RS line is moving down, not the ideal base, even very abrupt base. On the left hand side, I mean, it's more like a base on base formation, but during the current base, there is some sign of distribution. So the buyer demand is kind of coming down. Price strength is also declining. So overall, very late stage base would wait for the stage count to get reset. I mean, that would ideally be a scenario if the stage count gets reset and the relative strength or the price strength for the stock improves. Definitely at that moment, the stock can be looked at, because overall, fundamentally, a very good stock. It's just that the technicals are not falling into place at this moment. Someone who's holding the stock can continue to hold, because today's action was very good. Reclaimed the key moving averages on our average volume, which is a good sign. However, can keep the low of the current base as your stop loss level. If that gets breached out, maybe can exit out then. Next, Zentech. So ideally, the stock is doing very good, more than 43% from pivot at this moment. Last few quarter results have been superb. As one can see at the breakout, volumes was very good. Currently, the stock has come down to 50 DMA, but if you look at down the volume bar, volumes have actually just dried up. So, I mean, a phase like this is about to happen when the stock has rallied a lot. So till the point in time 50 DMA is getting held up on good volumes, then it's fine. If there is a volume breach, is a breach with heavy volumes, then definitely can exit out of the stock, because up till now, even during the base, 50 DMA was a good support for the stock. And if 50 DMA is breached on lower volumes, then look out for a couple of days. If not, if it's not sustaining, then can take a call to exit out. New entry into the stock is not advised currently, because it's more than 43% on the pivot. But if the stock finds support at the 50 DMA, or even breaches or reclaims it on above average volumes, and your fundamental thesis suggest, then can have a look at the stock.
I will take Sharda Motors. So it is forming a stage 1 cup with the handle base. That's a good first stage base in this market is something you always look for. But the only part is today it breached its 50 DMA. Not an ideal thing for today's session. But the good part is that it closed on the higher side of the day's range, almost near the day's high, which is something good. Now, if you look at some other things like the rally over here was on a really good volume. So it's a positive sign for the stock. Plus the left side of the cup, when there was selling happening, the volume was relatively on the lower side. So that is good. But what we now want is like it's still 11% to pivot. So this 11% journey to break out, we want it on a higher volume and a strong closing. So then you can definitely consider it's a good story. Okay, the auto ancillary stocks have been doing really well and they can continue to do well. The ratings are excellent over here. Okay, the fund holding has increased, the ROE of 30%, that is superb, and the recent quarter results have also been a good one. So what you need to watch out for over here is how it covers the 11%. If it's on a higher volume, good breakout, okay, and RS line starts moving higher, then it's a good stock to have on the watch list. On the flip side, if the stock falls from here, if it breaches below 50 DMA, then not an ideal sign. There can be some sharp selling because generally it doesn't have a habit to breach its 50 DMA. वहाँ पे support मिल ही जाता है इसको. So if you are holding the stock, then I think today's low can be a good place to keep a stop loss. And if the stock reverses from here on the higher side, you can definitely continue to hold it. Okay, so next we'll cover Jyoti Labs and then Uno Minda. A good setup over here. After the breakout from stage 2 cup with handle base, there was some momentum, but it faded out. So now it is moving sideways. Okay, and but the moment is just above its key moving averages. So if you are holding the stock, then you can continue to hold it. Fresh entry not suggested over here because it is a bit extended from the pivot. So when we suggest a fresh entry in these kind of stocks is when the stock pulls back to 50 DMA. अगर ये 50 DMA पे वापस आता है और वहां से एक बार अगर रिबाउंड हुआ, then it's a good time to go for it. हाँ, but volume on rebound should be higher and fall should be lower. बाकी यहाँ पे फंड होल्डिंग रिड्यूस हुआ है, नॉट आइडियल सिनेरियो. आरओई अच्छा है और रिसेंट रिजल्ट्स भी अच्छे हैं. सो इफ आर होल्डिंग, कीप होल्डिंग. 50 डीएमए को स्टॉप लॉस यूज कर सकते हो. फ्रेश बाय अगर 50 डीएमए को ब्रीच ना करके रिबाउंड मार दिया तभी फ्रेश बाय बनेगा यहाँ पे. So next will be Uno Minda. स्टेज 5 हायर स्टेज बेस बनाया है. ठीक है, दिस इज व्हाट वी जनरली डोंट लाइक. बहुत हाई स्टेज बेस में ये होता है. फेक ब्रेकआउट दिया था यहाँ पे, देखो इंट्राडे गिर गया और वहां से वॉल्यूम पे सेलिंग आ गया, 50 डीएमए भी गया. सो अगर आपने ब्रेकआउट पे इंट्राडे इसको लिया है, देन यू आर इन अ लॉस. ठीक है, स्टॉप लॉस भी लग गया होगा, 50 डीएमए भी ब्रीच हो गया होगा. देखो बायर डिमांड काफी पुअर है, तो अर्निंग्स इसका अच्छा है. ईपीएस ऑफ 92 इज गुड वन, प्लस रिसेंट क्वार्टर्स के अर्निंग अच्छे हैं. ठीक है, आरओई में भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, 18% इज गुड. फंड होल्डिंग बढ़ रहा है, बट थोड़ा एक्सटेंडेड देखो, यहाँ पे भी ये डाउन साइड रिवर्सल्स के साइन दिख रहे थे, तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होता ही जा रहा था, ऐसा नहीं था कि नहीं थे सिग्नल्स। यहाँ पे भी जो कप का लेफ्ट साइड बना देखो हायर वॉल्यूम पे। अभी मैंने जो डिस्कस किया था शारदा मोटर के लिए, तो उसमें क्या था कि जब वो गिर रहा था तब वॉल्यूम लो था, हमने देखा। तो वो एक आइडियल सिचुएशन है, दैट इज आइडियल सिचुएशन। ओके, बट हियर द थिंग्स आर रिवर्स, वेन एवर इट इज गोइंग हायर इतना वॉल्यूम नहीं मिल रहा है, और जब गिर रहा है तब हायर वॉल्यूम मिल रहा है। सो यू नीड टू बी केयरफुल इन दिस स्टॉक। इफ यू आर होल्डिंग, you can use the recent lows around as a stop loss, and a fresh entry from O'Neill view is not suggested in this stock.
Thanks, Yusuf. I'll take queries now. I'll take HDFC Bank. Okay. Currently, it is trading in a flat base. You can see here recently there has not been much action in the stock. It is moving sideways. Not much action on the price front, and volume front has also been on the lower side. So there is still a 7% to pivot in this stock. If you look at the chart, ratings have also come down slightly because of stocks underperformance. Here you can see price strength has come down to 25, which is not a good number. EPS strength has also slightly come down to 60 because of June quarter profits have slightly declined to compare year-on-year basis. Even though the sales have been rising, but the profits the company is not able to generate in terms of growth rates where the sales are going. Overall, we need to wait for the stock to break out from here to take a fresh entry. And being a very large cap, market cap company, it's very difficult for the company to continuously break out and generate profits continuously. So there will be few times in between where it will take some time and come out of that range. Currently, that is what it is happening from 1600, 1700 levels. It has been there for a long period of time. So we need to wait for the stock to break out and see how the company comes out with the results in the upcoming quarter. Next is ITD segmentation. Stock is forming a consolidation based pattern here, stage two consolidation, and it tried to break out, almost came towards the pivot, but again it found some resistance around that area. That is why we always emphasize to take fresh entry only when breakouts happen on higher volumes. And you can see here recently it has breached its 50 DMA as well, which is a sign of bother. Currently, it is still able to stay within the base, but if it comes down further, another couple of 2 to 3% from here, it might come below the base pattern and it might nullify the base pattern. And there is still a 20% for the stock to move higher to break out from here. So it's a very long way to go from here. The only positive thing which happened in the recent fall is the volume, which is on the lower side. But stock breaching 50 DMA is a major sign of concern. On that front, we are not looking at a fresh entry at this point in this stock. But the ratings are not deteriorated much. You can see here EPS is still intact at 96 because EPS is determined by the quarterly earnings and there is not much change in the last 1 month. So that is why we always say follow technicals because the technicals are called as leading indicators, because you can see here RS line has come down slightly and it is trading at 75, but you can see the trend is clearly on the downside. So if you go by the EPS, you'll be thinking that the stock is looking good. Fundamentally, it is very good. I can take a fresh entry, but it is not the case in this stock. Also, if you have taken this stock already into a portfolio and if you are waiting for the EPS to turn bad, you'll be at loss and your capital will also be at risk because even though it has fallen 10 to 15% recently, the EPS has not changed. So always stick with the technicals once you have taken a fresh entry. Uh, That is what was mentioned by Rishit as well in the opening remarks. We can go for next. I think
Raj,
Ace. Sorry.
I'll take some queries, Raj.
Yeah. Okay. You can take.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. ITT segmentation. Just give me a second. Give me Lupin and then Raymond. The pharma sector as a whole has been doing well, and as you can see, even Lupin, one of the leading stocks in the sector, is also doing well. Last few quarter results have been good, so EPS strength is bound to recover. Overall, fund holding is improving, which is a good sign. Continuous blue dots formation are there for the stock, and good accumulation, as you can see, the stock is moving up. Always found support not even at the 21 DMA, but around the 10 EMA, which is one of the shortest key moving averages which one can track. And the stock is doing well, is around 30% from pivot. So ideally, new entry into the stock is not advised. But since the stock is doing well, and someone who bought stock at the breakout or even at the previous breakout can continue to hold, but ideally should book at least partial profits if 21 DMA gets breached. 21 DMA is very close from here, so if 21 DMA gets breached, should definitely try to book out on partial profits, because 50 DMA is good 10-12% from here. The next we can do is Raymond. So not a very ideal base, as you can see. The last few days when the stock has fallen off, RS line has come off very badly. Even the stock has fallen on some volumes at this moment. And as you can see, so overall, even the buyer demand is deteriorated, price strength has deteriorated. Last quarter result was not that good for the stock, and but still fund holding is improving. So ideally, I mean, there's a good prior uptrend. At this moment, what we are lacking is the RS line to move up, and good accumulation to follow. So at this moment, the stock is more than 22% from pivot. So ideally, new entry into the stock is definitely not advisable. Uh, Wait till the RS line moves up and there is good signs of accumulation. If that turns in, definitely overall, fundamentally, since it's a very diversified business, can definitely have a look at the stock. Someone who's holding on to the stock since some key moving averages such as the 21 and the 50 DMA have reached. If you've not exited, you're still there with the stock, can keep the recent lows of the base as your the this 1819, yeah, 1819 as the stop loss level. If that gets breached out, can definitely think about exiting the stock. So I'll take one YouTube query, that is Varroc Engineering. Can you just move the slide pointer a bit? Yeah. So overall, price strength is very bad at 25 for the stock. Even EPS strength of 32 is not great. Fund holding is improving, but at this moment, technicals and fundamentals are not in place for the stock. Uh, Building a base on base pattern. The last breakout was, I mean, was kind of good, but after that there has been good downfall after that. After the recent highs of 716.9, as you can see, RS line has after hitting the blue dot has just come down from there, which is not a good sign. But if you see this apart from one phase, the stock has not fallen too much on above average volume. So maybe there is a chance of recovery. But at this moment, since we don't bottom fish or don't go into laggard stock, so at this moment the stock is looking like one. So cannot uh, create new position in the stock. Someone who's holding the stock is trading very close to the 200 DMA. If 200 DMA gets breached on above average volume, should definitely move out for new entry into the stock. As I said, bottom fishing is not what we do at O'Neill. So we'll wait for the stock to redisplay strength. That is regain its key moving averages, hopefully on above average volume, good signs of accumulation going forward. And if then there is a breakout, then at that moment can have a look at the stock.
Okay, so there is one question for me, Rushit. Why technicals have more advantage over fundamental? So what I'm telling in the near term, you need to follow the technicals more because fundamental, let's say the result season is just behind us. So now the result season will take some time, okay, again to come. So before that, if there is major movement in the market, then it is not that the fundamentals you will be able to track. Also, like see, India's economy has been stable now. The growth has been good. The inflation levels, the liquidity, everything is quite in line. So in shorter term, so you can't track, the fundamentals that faster for the trading purpose. So that is what I was telling, that you need to track the technicals as of now, which are very near ones, the 21, the 50 DMS, which is very crucial because they are the first indicator. I think before the fundamental turns out, you will always see the moments in the technicals of the stock. The another question for me was on, okay, the recent edition Epack. Just a disclaimer, those who are not the subscribers, the premium subscribers of MSI, that this stock is part of our portfolio. We have recently added this one on breakout. On Monday only we added, and the stock is almost up 13 to 14% in our portfolio. So this was a very good cup with handle base formation, and the fundamentals were improving really well. If you read through the balance sheet P&L of the company, if you look at the transcript, okay, the way the company has confident of delivering 45 to 50% growth in revenue, okay, margin भी expand होना है, around 8 to 8.5% का margin ये लोग expect कर रहे हैं. So looking at those things, the way the air conditioning penetration is there, सब इनके client है. आप अगर लॉयड का एसी लगा लो, वोल्टास का लगा लो, ईपैक का उसमें हाथ होगा. So this is one of the big player over there, and that's the reason we have added. Plus there were strong technicals we added when it broke out from the cup with handle base, and the RS was also with a blue dot at all-time high. Okay, the other things are also well in place. We will continue to hold as of now, but if we see some major technical deterioration, some downside reversal, we may consider profit booking. Otherwise, the way it has moved over here, we will give some time to consolidate. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये चलता ही जाएगा. It can continue its rally as well. That's not a problem because it had done in past. But if it consolidates 2 to 5%, 7% की range में, then that is very normal, and then it can again move higher. So that's what our take on Epack is. Now we'll take GMR Infra and Deepak Nitrite. Okay, so the stock has been consolidating since long. So यहाँ पे जब stage 3A का breakout दिया था, ठीक है, so there was some quick momentum from the 200 DMA of the ये election result day के बाद. So उसके बाद breakout दिया था, where after that it is giving a sideways movement. 50 DMA पे support मिला था, again it went higher, but again some sideways movement, fall below 50 DMA, and currently it is trading below 50 DMA. So the volume action on the up days has been quite interesting one. So you can have this one in your watch list. अगर ये 50 DA में reclaim करता है, then that will be the first positive sign for the stock for near term trading. And the better one will be when it breakout पे एक अच्छा होगा. Okay, but this becomes a pure technical trade, guys. Just remember, because इसका earnings fundamental profile कुछ इतना solid है नहीं, EPS strength तो बहुत ही खराब है, सिर्फ एक का है, price strength a bit weaker. But yeah, if you are in the trading purpose, then I think the 50 DMA reclaim is good for going long. And if you have your own research or you have some advice from the qualified advisors, and the breakout is always a good trading strategy. बट फंडामेंटली थोड़ा इसको अर्निंग्स इम्प्रूव की बहुत ज़रूरत है. फंड होल्डिंग इम्प्रूव हो रहा है यहाँ पे. एंड उसी ओवरऑल बिजनेस इज गुड, जो इनका एयरपोर्ट इंफ्रा का बिजनेस है. ओके, बट स्टिल द ईपीएस इज नॉट कमिंग.
Rashid, I'll take those various.
Sure.
Okay, I think Geo Finance I'll take. And another user is asking that we have skipped so many stocks. Intentionally, we are not skipping any stock, but randomly we are picking stocks from the chat box because there are already lots of stocks which are asked here. So due to the cost of time, for us, it's not possible for us to discuss all the stocks. I will be picking out on random basis, and if there is any stock which is repeated, we'll try to answer those queries. And coming back to Geo Finance, currently the stock is forming a very long consolidation based pattern here. It has been I think almost 3 to 4 months of period. It has been trading in a consolidation based pattern. And because of this underperformance recently, the stock is not able to break out from the base pattern, because of which RS line has come down and RS rating has also come down. Technicals have taken a hit because of the stock's underperformance. Fundamentals are still intact. APS is looking at 89, but if you look into the numbers, recent quarter earnings are not so good in terms of profit, except especially sales have been growing, but the profits are not reflecting the same. So that is the reason of for the stocks underperformance in the current market, and definitely not a very good stock in this current market to enter because of the underperformance. And you can look out for other stocks to make an investment. Next is Ratnamani Metals. It's a very recently broken out stock from up with the handle based pattern. You can see here, but the breakout has not been very significant in terms of volume, and price action has also been not been significant. After breakout, we would like to see the stock finding the momentum to take it higher from the breakout, but that is not been the case in the case of Ratnamani Metals. If you look at the ratings, you can see the story here. EPS has been not so good. It is at less than 60. Price strength has also been less than 60, so not so good numbers in terms of ratings. Number of funds have taken a slight hit in the recent quarter. So overall, if you look at the ratings, it is not looking good. But on the breakout side, it is a recently broken out stock. But the ratings are not compensating or adding value to the stock. That is the reason of not the stock not advancing from the breakout. Let's I think and also the breakout volume is also not significant. There are multiple of stocks breaking out on each day because of the market being in confirmed uptrend. So you can keep these kind of stocks aside and look out for other stocks which are looking good on both in terms of ratings and also in terms of chart. Next is I think we can talk about Inox Green. Recently, again, a recent breakout stock, and stage 3 cup handle breakout and stock advanced 15% from the breakout. So not so bad. It's a, we can say, considerable gain we have taken on the breakout. The reasons for us to not consider this stock has been because of the slightly higher base count. You can say not so higher, but stage 3, you never know. But if you look at the other things, that has EPS of again less than 60, not so good, and sales have been declining recently. Uh, Definitely that has taken a hit, and profits have also taken a hit in a couple of quarters recently. So not doing good on that front. Technicals have been still intact. The stock is able to form blue dots on the RS line as well, signifying good performance. But if that is compensated by a good set of numbers, definitely that will take the stock higher from here. But there is not so good backup from the company's results. That is the reason stocks not so much gain expectations from here. And also, fresh entry is not advised because there is no major breakout and no major base pattern happening. Currently, it is trading above 15% from the pivot, so you can say uh, you can look for a profit booking as well if you find a slight selling kind of pressure happening in the stock.
Yeah, thanks, Raj. Vakarya. I'll take a
Vakar,
couple.
there is one like question from Sandeep. So yeah, you can find our materials on YouTube as well as on our website. You can subscribe to our channel as well as if you have taken the subscription, then yes, in learn section you can always watch out for our videos and learning articles. Learning articles का content बहुत सारा है, so and you can go for that. Thanks.
Okay. So couple of YouTube queries I'll take. One is Sinjin, then Balu Forge.
After that, we will take Deepak Nitrite.
Okay, fine. So the stock has broken out on a stage 2 cup base. Recently, last couple of quarter results have not been that good. Before that, the stock was in momentum. And I mean, the first breakout for the stock was not successful. It came back into the brace. It has broken out, which is a good sign. But overall, it's a very wide and loose base. As you can see, too many signs of distribution whenever the stock breaches its key moving averages during the base. It breached on above average volumes, so not the most ideal base. Fund holding is also not increasing at a very high pace, but ideally better stocks are probably breaking out at this moment in the market. And currently, if someone has bought the stock or is there in their portfolio, maybe from some other point or maybe at this current breakout, can in the recent rally that it has had after reclaiming the 21 DMA, after reclaiming most of the 21 and the 200 DMA, it is holding on to the 21 DMA very well. That is the green line. So if at this moment and the 21 DMA is very close to the pivot as well. So again, not much of gains. So if 21 DMA, if someone is holding the stock and 21 DMA gets breached, should ideally move out of the stock. Considering the overall dynamics of the stock, even if slight correction happens, it comes out into the ideal buy zone. On our radar, it's probably not there. So the next stock we can look at is Balu Forge. The stock is doing pretty well. From a stage 1 cup base itself, it has rallied very well. After coming down, maybe it was more of like a shakeout because apart from one day, volumes had actually dried up. And even on that day, when the stock didn't close near the day's lows, it breached the 21 DMA, reclaimed the 21 DMA and the 50 DMA as well. So it was a good sign. So maybe someone bought the stock at the rebreakout has significant gains at this moment, which is a very good sign. Fundamentally, very strong stock EPS strength of 90. Last 4 or 5 quarters have been very good. Fund holding has been increasing. So overall, if someone holds the stock, can continue to hold the stock till the point in time 21 DMA does not get breached. If 21 DMA gets breached, should at least partially book some profits. New entry into the stock is not advised. Wait for the stock to make another base. The next we can look at is Deepak Nitrite. So certainly, the chemical stocks are coming back into flavor, and that's what's happening with Deepak Nitrite as well. It's forming a new base. Overall, just look at the acceleration in the last couple of quarter results as well. So maybe one quarter down the line, you'll see better numbers coming in for the stock. And even at that moment, the price strength can improve as well for the stock. Fund holding has slightly improving has started to improve back for the stock. Currently, no major signs of distribution apart from a couple of days, but the stock is lacking good accumulation during the base formation as well. But the stock is still 8% to pivot. If overall the price strength improves, the RS line improves, and the stock moves higher on above average volume, maybe at that moment at breakout can look out. Ideally, fresh entry at this moment is not advisable. Someone's holding from a previous breakout can continue to hold since the stock is finding support at the 50 DMA. If 50 DMA gets breached out on above average volume, should look for exiting the stock.
Okay, so I think we can take one last query and then close the session. Tata Motors. Okay, after a very good run over the in last year, so there was a consolidation at the start of FY this current year, and it formed a stage for consolidation base. So after moving sideways, there was some momentum, okay, in the month of the end of the July, but again it failed. And see, the way it failed was on the higher volume, and again there was some distribution to selling that was going on in Tata Motors. And that's what we saw. Now the stock is trading below its key moving averages. So ideally, if you are holding the stock with good profit, you should have booked it. Loss होता है तो भी अभी तक तो 8-10% हो गया होगा. Then ideally it should have been booked. Next level of support is the 200 DMA. If you are still holding 930, 940 is a good zone for the support. It looks like if we look on weekly, this will give you a better idea. ऐसी weekly अगर देखें तो 20 अप्रैल 2023 से ये स्टॉक 200 डीएमए ब्रीच नहीं किया है, so that it looks like it might get support over here, but if it fails to get support, then we might see some notable cut in the stock. The earnings have improved very good. The EPS, the sales growth is good. Fund holding on a higher base is good. ROE of 37 is also excellent one. Fresh entry, whenever the stock reclaims its 50 DMA on a higher volume, you can consider for a fresh entry. Otherwise, not suggested. So the technical ratings have also been poor. The price trend, the buyer demand EPS, thoda weak hai. So that's it for today's session. Thank you for joining, guys. See you tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. in the morning. We'll be coming up with the pre-bell, so you can join that. Every day we are live at 8:45 in the morning. So there are a few questions related to base formation and all. Yes, yes, everything you get it in the MSI website or YouTube video. You will get all the answers to how the bases are formed and everything. Thank you, Sambit, Pran, everyone for joining the session. I hope it was useful to all of you because it's a good learning for us as well. Like every time we conduct such sessions, we also learn. Thanks, Akshay. We can end the session.